Hello everyone. Welcome to this very special edition of the One Global Movement. On this episode today, we thought we'd bring you something very special from the continent of Africa. We are in Africa and we're bringing to you the different delicious delicacies that are on the continent. And our aim is to teach young people and to teach ourselves as a whole that what we consume is very important as what we bring out of us. So today, please stay tuned and enjoy our program this afternoon. And hopefully, we will be interactive and you will enjoy yourselves. So, thank you very much as I hand this to our sister Yvonne. Sister Yvonne, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Karen, for that brilliant, wonderful, fun, amazing introduction. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for all my aides, all the sisters, Lynn, Divina, Briddy, Karine, and Esther, who might be joining us later. And thank you guys so much for everyone out there. Like Karen just said, we thought we have to bring something fun because a hungry person is an angry person. If people don't eat, that would be so bad for them. They can't do anything. They cannot do anything. They cannot study. If our kids don't eat, they cannot do anything. So we are so grateful that you guys are here today with us. I urge you guys to invite your children, invite families, because this is a movement that is aimed at educating families, focusing on our children, especially our youths, with a focus on young girls. Because when you bring them here, they will hear by themselves, they will bring what they want to bring to the table by themselves. So we listen to them, then we continue to upgrade how we are going to help. So food is such an important part of all cultures of the world. Food is love, food is welcoming, food is a hospitality. Food represents everything that we need in our life. There is a saying that a recipe has no soul. A recipe has no soul. You, as the cook, must bring soul into the recipe. So we use our unique story to help others, particularly young children, with a focus on young girls who have experienced some challenges in life. We help them with education, inspiration, direction, and a protective alarm so that they can be bold to speak up and speak out and use the resources at their disposal to thrive, build generational wealth while living a life of leadership and purpose. That is the main reason why we are here today to do that. And so, when it is Sunday, it is Sunday special with One Global Movement. Share and like, because what you can really do for us, if you cannot speak, you cannot type, it is to be present. Your presence means a lot, just to sit here and listen, and sometimes comment if you can, or take this message to your family, to the world. You don't need anything. We are here to serve you. We are your servants. We are at your disposal. And if you want answers or you have any questions, ask. You are very welcome to ask. Make sure you share and subscribe to the channel. So now, without further ado, I am just going to ask our technical person, Ngwe, to start sharing some of the foods that we can talk about. The number one that I would like us to talk about is ndole. Ndole. Ngwe, can you please share that screen? Yes, while we are waiting, we want to just make sure that we help our kids not just to eat, but to eat healthy foods, to eat foods that will build their immune system, to eat foods that will help them, give them that energy that they need to study, to run around, to play. We bring these foods because they are foods that are produced organically without chemically engineered, foods that we teach our children that when you garden, these things are not just to produce just the food that you're going to eat, but when you garden, that is already therapy for you. It helps you a lot. So now we have on the screen plantain andole, as you can see the name there. This, I'm just telling you, this is bitter leaf, is used with a vegetable called bitter leaf. It is very, very healthy, very medicinal. It serves a lot of purpose. And if you know about it, they use this bitter leaf now to produce what is called a bitter leaf capsule. They produce it and then they sell it to people. These bitter leaf, it acts as an enema. You don't need to go take sometimes the colas or some of the aids that you buy over the counter to help yourself with. And you can see there, very delicious. It is prepared with the bitter leaf itself and with peeled groundnuts. We call it groundnut. In America we call it peanuts. And you see some delicious shrimps on there. And look at the plantains. Plantains itself is a natural source of calcium and potassium for building of the bones of children and adults alike. Very, very, very delicious. And instead of buying those capsules, you can eat this naturally without being tinted with any chemical. They grow them organically. This is one of the most delicious dishes in the continent of Africa. It's everywhere now. It's everywhere, even here in the United States. So does anybody have anything to say about that?
Yes,
Otherwise,
of
we can move to the
course,
next
I
one.
do. I
Okay.
do. I do. I do. I do. Hello, everyone. Talk. Where there is food, everyone is happy. Where there is food, there is peace. Where there is food, there is happiness. Where there is food, people smile. And I think that having this particular dish on the screen just gets me smiling. I can't even help myself. I just want to smile. And I think that this particular meal, not to make maybe other people who don't know this meal feel bad, but I believe that because of these meals that we have been eating from childhood up till when we left homeland, when we left our homeland to wherever we are now, has made us who we are, has built our immune system. I can even say that I, for one, I don't get sick. I can't even remember the last time I was sick. And I believe that all of this came from the meals that I had eaten when I was a child and up to the point where I left home. And Sister Yvonne mentioned the shrimp and the peanut that is used to prepare this meal. And I just want to add there's another ingredient that is used in this meal that is also very, very good. A lot of people cook it, they prepare this meal and they put what we call dry fish, like maybe a mackerel fish or any kind of fish that you can find, and you dry it, and then you use that fish to put it in this particular dish. So you can put fish, you can replace meat with fish, which is more healthier than meat. And also some people put what we call crayfish, the little fish, the smaller ones of the shrimp. We also use it and put it in this meal. And also, not to forget the garnish that comes in this meal, that is onion. We put a lot of onion in this particular dish, and all know what onion, or how good onion is for us. Not to talk of the plantain that comes with it. Oh my goodness, it's so delicious. And God willing, someday all unpassive founders will gather in some place, and we will prepare this dish and feed the whole of unpassive founders. So it is really a privilege to bring this particular dish to us at this particular time. So thank
Thank
you,
you
Sister
so
Yvonne,
much.
and over
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you. We're going to bring something that is universal, jollof rice. Jollof rice, if you can pull that on the screen, Gray, I can't wait. That one, it's something so delicious, so special that anybody in the world, rice is something that is a universal food. But this one, you can prepare it in different ways. And, the vegetables are in there. Everything that you're going to see in there, you put it, it's so healthy. And we know our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufara, loves food. He says it. He loves food. And who doesn't love food? We love it. Maybe sometimes not to the same level or category. So we are waiting for you to pull that jollof rice on the screen, and let's see, so the audience can see what it is. This is very, very. When I used to work for corporate America, and I love to bring my food, and there we go. I love to bring this jollof rice a lot because we love jollof rice. My mom cooked for more than 30 years and sold and to feed us. And actually, we have rice being grown in Cameroon or in Africa. So with this jollof rice, I will just cook it, take it to the job, and I will invite people, because in our culture, you can't eat alone. You got to share with people, because food is something that unites. Food connects us together. We're talking about connect. This is one of the things that is going to connect the unpassive family even more, and also connect us to the world. Is to, if you want somebody to listen to you, feed them. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to listen to you. And this is the more reason why we're doing this for our children. My son is in school. He will only want jollof rice, mommy. And he will eat it for maybe 1 or 2 weeks, So you have in there like meat. You can use meat. You can use roasted fish. You can use green beans. You can use peas and put those things in there, and you cook them. You can bake it or you can just fry it. This is so yummy, so delicious that it is irresistible. Nobody's going to resist this jollof rice, and you can eat it almost like every day, every day, every day. You can put the next one for somebody to talk about in Gray. Any one of your choice, just pick it. And while you're going there are a lot of dishes here. We're not going to be able to talk about everything, but this one is what, Karine? This is vegetable trotters. Yes, vegetable trotters are the trotters from
Is
the
it
cow's
okra?
stomach.
It looks like, is it okra?
This is vegetable trotters. These are the trotters from the stomach of the cow, or the stomach of
Okay.
the pig, or the stomach of any animal that is so well prepared and washed and cooked with lots of vegetable. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to know that vegetable is part and parcel of our life. You eating vegetable for breakfast, for lunch, and for supper. Vegetable, that is why the greatest book of wisdom teaches us that when you are buying a home, or when you're building a home from scratch, have a little space for a garden that you plant your vegetable, so you can always just go out there and harvest the vegetable and then you use it. Vegetable helps with digestion. It helps with a lot of things. It makes your body smooth and healthy. It helps with the growth of our children. It is always a good thing. Look at this other one here, corn fufu. Corn fufu, vegetable and chicken. Oh my goodness. I'll let somebody, Karine, you can talk about that on way, whoever wants to talk. This is so beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, right. It like I'm going back some years back to homeland. Um, Before I even talk about this dish, I just want to encourage us who are online this afternoon or this evening or morning, wherever we're watching from, that it is important for us to take care of what it is that goes into the stomach of our children, because we are a product of what we eat. Let's find ways to put in the nutritive stuff in the meals that we feed our children. Let's run away from fast food and find ways to prepare homemade meals and put in vegetables. Find fun ways to incorporate the very nutritive things that we can find around in the meals that we feed our children, because it goes a very, very long way. It goes a very long way. It helps a lot. So talking about that, I want to talk about this particular meal that is on the screen. We call it corn fufu and vegetable. This particular vegetable, I think it's called in English huckleberry. It's called huckleberry, and that fufu. right there is made out of corn flour, which is milled. The maize or the corn grain is milled into a powder form, and then it is cooked in hot water until it loses the rawness of the corn. And then the vegetable is huckleberry, as I mentioned. We cook it, we put in vegetable like tomato, we put in onion in it, and then we put in, most important, palm oil. There is this oil that is in Africa, particularly in West Africa, and I believe it's everywhere around the world right now. In the US, it's in the UK, it's everywhere around the world. It's called palm oil, and this palm oil comes from it is produced in West Africa largely. We use it to prepare this vegetable. We replace the peanut oil and the different olive oil and the different oils that we use. We use this particular organic palm oil to prepare this particular vegetable, and then we prepare it with chicken as a side. We can either maybe cook the chicken in a chili sauce, and then we serve it on a leaf. If you want to make a hit, you serve it on a leaf, not a plate. It makes so much sense. It's so delicious. So thank you, Sister Yvonne, for that chance to
Thank you
talk
so
about
much.
this here.
You guys are seeing that leaf there, not the plate, not the plates. This is something natural, and anything that comes naturally, it comes from the spirit, and the spirit is the creator. Because when you eat with your fingers, and we usually use our fingers, not the spoon, not the fork, you eat it with it, it heals. It brings you begin to think like you are being elevated into a different space. And that is why we, in our culture, in my culture, and most of the cultures around the world we encourage our people to eat naturally, organically, eat according to your culture. Because when we bring these cultures together in the world, like Divina wrote on the screen, food brings people together. Food unites us together. Food brings people to love one another. I'm telling you, I can't wait for that day when we will gather together somewhere, fly all over the world, stay together, and we cook and cook and cook for days for people to eat, because that's our passion. We cook. We don't eat mostly from the fast food restaurants. Some once in a while we can go out to eat, so that we get inculcated into the culture, so that kids can learn a variety. But when a baby is born, when that baby is at the age where they can eat something, we start little, like that corn fufu, little with okra sauce. Those kids, I bet you, they grow up to have a very strong immune system. Most of the time, they don't have like ear infections and all those infections that affect children. Like Karine said, I don't know when lastly I got sick. I don't know. I don't have a doctor. I don't. And so my grandmother, one of my grandmothers is 106, never went to the hospital, never visited a doctor. She has everything. She's a traditional healer. If you're short of blood, there is a leaf that you can cook and drink. Within 20 minutes, your blood will go back to where it's supposed to be. So we encourage us parents to teach our children to eat naturally from a very young age. Young age means from the stomach. When they're in the stomach, now they begin to get used to what we are putting in our mouth and in our stomach. So that is so delicious. And there is another one that I want to pick up. This one, oh my God, it's Akong.
Sister Yvonne, Sister Yvonne, please,
Yes.
before you move to that delicious delicacy, I just wanted to highlight something that I think Sister Divina. I think, we can actually travel to other continents without being there physically through their food. I sit here in South Africa and I salivate over images of meals that are prepared in China, in the villages of China. I travel to China through food. There's a channel that I'm so addicted to watching on Facebook. I find these Chinese girls, they prepare meals right in the village, in the interior of China. and I watch it over and over, and I find myself salivating over what it is that they are cooking. That is to say that we can transport ourselves to other continents and to other spaces through food, and that is a very powerful, powerful thing.
Why not? That is so true because one of the things that I thought about and which we've discussed, and I realized that that is the more reason why God even pulled us together, is to make food go with everything we do for the world. Because we cannot go, let's say we're going to speak physically, we cannot go to speak physically without feeding the people. We have to go with the cooks. We go with our own cooks, professional good cooks, because they have to cook from the heart, not just cooking from elsewhere. Cook from the heart, because cooking from the heart is cooking. Once somebody just said we ate with the fingers, not with the spoon. That's so right. That is so true. That is so true, Brian. Yes, we're going to make food part and parcel of this. And I'm so grateful that a lot of us here, everybody is talking about food. Everybody loves food. Who doesn't love food? If we don't eat, guess what we do? We collapse. And what happens next? Food is so important, and we're going to do whatever it takes to research and do the best. But we are doing that from the heart, from what our parents taught us, from what our grandparents taught us, from what we grew up with. Right behind my yard here, I farm, not a garden. I said I'm doing a garden. They said, no, that's farming. Half an acre. I plant natural things that I put in the freezer and eat it all year round, naturally produce, and I also share with my neighbors, and the neighbors, they love it. So that is so wonderful. I am so grateful that everybody here is saying something so positive and wonderful about food. Thank you guys so much. Let's go to Akong, the Akong, delicious Akong dish, one of the delicacies in the world, particularly in West Africa. Do you want to pull that up so people can see? And while you're pulling that up, I'm just going to name the ingredient. This is produced with, or cooked with, prepared with grated cocoyams. Cocoyams, we buy them from the store. We produce them too naturally. Actually, last year I grew, yes, there we go. I grew just one, I don't know how to describe it, just one cocoyam plant here to see how well it was going to go. But because I'm living in our beautiful winter Minnesota, it couldn't go that far because it needed some time. The cold came, but it was doing very well. So this, you peel your cocoyams, you wash them, you grate them, and then you can use the leaves of the cocoyams, or you can use spinach or collard greens, because right now, knowing this dish, in preparing it in Africa, now that I'm here in the United States, I realized that the healthy vegetables like collard greens, like spinach, you can actually use it. So when you grate it, you mix some salt, a little, not too much salt, because too much salt is not good for the body. And then you can put a little bit of pepper for those who want pepper. And then you mix it. Crayfish is part of this fish. We're just talking so fast, but we're going to assemble this in a book so that people can begin to eat healthily and know what to put in their mouth. Because like Sister Karine said before, what you put in your mouth determines what is going to come out. So we better put the very best and delicious food in our mouth. And palm oil is so important. Palm oil, very healthy. That's what we use in cooking most of these dishes, because it's healthy. It takes away a lot of impurities from your system. It's just so healthy. Even the palm kernels that come from the palm nut, you chew it, it's healthy. It's healthy. You feed the chickens with it. The chickens stay healthy too when you throw it to the chickens. This is amazing. This is amazing. And if no one has anything to say on this, we move faster. And I know that a lot of people are salivating right now. I can see some of the comments, but thank you so much. This is what food can do for us. It transcends you into another space, somebody else's space, without you even knowing. Very yummy. Thank you. Gwe, just pick another one of your choice, because I think every dish there is so important, but I'm just picking according to my mindset here. So just pick another one and let's continue, because we have a lot of delicious. Ooh, you did something. Why did you bring that? You roasted fish. Oh my God. Karen, do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, roasted fish is Oh my goodness. Roasted fish is so delicious. So we have there are different, you can roast any kind of fish. Any kind of fish that is fresh can be roasted. So we prepare a spice. There is a spice that we use to roast fish. Now, when we prepare that spice, just like if you go to other continents, you go to Italy, you go to China, you go to other places around the world, they have a variety of spices that they use in roasting. Even here in South Africa, they've got a combo of spices that they use in roasting whatever it is, whether it's meat or it's fish. And back in Cameroon, we have a variety of those spices. We have things like celery, we have things like parsley, curly leaf parsley. We have some nuts that we pick, or we pick them from trees that are in the forest. We get these nuts, we roast them, and we blend them and merge them together with our parsley and our celery sticks, and then we can add in a little bit of salt and a little bit of some cube inside to sweeten it, or we can add a little bit of crayfish to replace the cube, and then we score the fish and we apply this spice on it. As I'm speaking, my husband is on the chat here. I could see a message from him, and that is what he likes that so much, the fish. So when you do that, you keep that fish in the fridge. You can keep it in the fridge for maybe over the night, and then you wake up in the morning and you roast it. Lo and behold, the spices would have gotten right in deep into the fish, that when you're eating, you're just getting a punch of that spice that you've spiced the fish with. You can have a side of maybe ripe plantains or unripe plantains, whatever it is you desire. But in West Africa, particularly Cameroon, we usually go for, there is a side that we call bobolo. And that bobolo is something that is made out of cassava. Cassava. We get cassava. I think most of us on here, or if not all of us, know what cassava is. We get cassava, we peel the cassava, we put it in water or we grate that cassava, and then we rub it in this special leaf that is from West Africa. So when we rub it and we cook it, and it comes out looking absolutely delicious and eye-catching. We serve it together with the fish or plantain. Maybe you want fried plantain, you can fry plantain, or you air fry the plantain. If you want to avoid the oil, you can air fry the plantain and you serve it as a side together with some onion rings and some chili sauce, and that is it. You have some roasted fish, and it's so delicious. Yes,
You
yes,
said it
yes.
all.
Sister
You
Yvonne,
said it
over to
all.
you.
You said it all, Karen. I'm just reading some of the comments here. I am just so amazed. I forgot to put bobolo. The bobolo that you just said, that the cassava that they wrap in those special leaves. And I ordered some. One of my friends here traveled to Cameroon, and I had the opportunity to have my brother buy some of those things. Some of them he produces them, and I paid an extra luggage. The bubble is right here in the refrigerator. I forgot to send it to Brie to show it on the screen, but we will show it next time. As I was reading the comments, Brian just made a very important comment. He said, if you do not eat your food as your medicine, you will eat your medicine as food. That means if you do not eat healthy, organically, down to earth produced food now, tomorrow, you're going to be eating your medicine as that food. You're going to get sick. Instead of eating the food, you wouldn't even have appetite for the food. Now you'll be eating the medicine now as your own food. This, if we remember, this man that the Apple guru that died, passed away. Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs said something like this too. And I can remember that. I am just so happy that and grateful that we were born in a place where we were taught to live life naturally. Live life naturally with your environment, because God has blessed us abundantly with a very fertile environment. But some of us don't take advantage of that. It is so yummy. You guys will. Someday let's travel to Africa. Why not? The world is a global village. It's so small. Look at us now here. Now we can travel. So we go, they will welcome you. You don't have to pay rent for anything. That's how far we are hospitable. You will eat. People will come and wake you up and to make sure that you're doing well before they even leave their homes. Not to say, oh, it's none of my business. It's all of our business to take care of everybody. That is why one global movement is one for everyone, one for all the parents, one for all our children, one for everybody. I am just so happy with this because I love to cook. I sit and cook and take it to neighbor, take it to church, take it to people who don't know how to do it for themselves. If you want me to come and cook, if you want us, invite us. We will be at your disposal. We'll be coming very quick. And thank you so much. And keep pulling it on the screen, Gray. I think there is this Accra banana. If you can pull that so that, and Karine can give a highlight on that one too, because that is so delicious, very nice. Did you pull it? Okay. Accra banana, you make it with the cassava tuber too. The cassava is used, you grate it, cassava and banana. This is so simple a recipe, but this is so healthy and delicious. Cassava grated, cassava, banana, you blend it, or you pound it together with the cassava in the mortar traditionally. Because those
Or you
things that are
mash the
made,
banana with a
there you
fork.
go. Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you peel the banana and then you mash the banana with a fork, so so that you don't puree it completely into a pulp. You just mash it together, and so that you have a little bit of chunks of banana here and there, and then you mix. When you grate out the cassava, you have to squeeze the liquid out. When you squeeze the liquid out, now it is in a a bit of a dry texture, and then you mix in the banana together, mix everything up, and then you just scoop and fry. You can scoop with an ice cream scoop, but we use fingers to do that. We just take a portion of it with our fingers and we drop in a deep fryer, and then we fry that, and then we eat it with chili. Just so simple. It is also a street food. We can buy it on the streets where we come from. You can find it on streets. Children carry it on their heads and selling around. And usually we fry it with palm oil. We don't even use peanut oil or olive oil and all the other oils. We use palm oil to fry it. That is, it cannot get any natural than that. We fry it with palm oil alongside the chili sauce, and there we go. We have it. So delicious and so easy to make.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sure our CEO, if he was going to be watching this, oh my God, I don't know what he's going to be thinking, but someday he will, because we're going to be cooking this because he's done a lot for us. He's done a lot for an 11-year-old girl who went through too much, but who survived and is here to tell the story. And the story of food is one of the story of that 11-year-old girl. And I'm sure there are so many other 11-year-old girls, 10, 9, children in particular, who are going through some major difficulties. Food is the number one thing that my grandmother and my mother, they farmed locally. Divina just said something here that your health is your wealth. Because when you eat healthy, you will stay healthy, you will be wealthy, you'll be so vibrant and so bubbly. They will see all happiness around you, not because of your bank account or anything. Just being happy is the greatest wealth that we all can ever have. Because if you're not healthy, you can't do anything else. This is so important because, and I am just thinking as we speak, that every time that we're going to bring up a show, we go with something that has to do with food, healthy food. So we continue to drill these lessons into our young ones, even into some of us parents. And it's going to be a reminder to us to always constantly remind ourselves that we need to eat healthily, we need to stay healthily. Let us do gardening with our children, farming. Let us not depend on those fast foods and things that, those sweets that are hurting us. Pretty soon you come up with diabetes. high blood pressure, a lot of other things that you start using medication to prevent it, not actually treating it. Why don't we eat healthily now? And these foods are so yummy. We are here. Invite us. We will fly to come and cook for you. We will do that. This is so important, and this is part of the reason why I'm talking about my some of the goals and dreams that I speak with my co-hosts. It's about establishing uh, a restaurant. We were still deliberating on the name. A big restaurant in every state and in everywhere in the world, so that we would teach, because we teach by example. We don't just talk. And that is what we're going to be looking into. We're going to wait until those apples start falling. All the children of the world are going to eat very healthily. We pull another one. Oh my God. Now I can't even speak
Sister
well because
Yvonne, I
uh,
think I think can I just want to. I think Briddy, Ngwe, don't you have a meal that you want to tell us about? Because I don't believe that you're just sitting behind the screen there and pulling off the meals for
there
us.
you
I
go.
believe that there is a meal that you
Yes.
probably want to say something about. And I think before she says that, I would just want to encourage us, because we are here for educational purposes first and foremost. So let us find ways to go back to basics. Each and every one of us have our roots. We have our roots, the things that we eat or we ate while we were growing up that are very healthy. It's rather, I don't know, it's unfortunate or fortunate that we have left where we grew up and we found ourselves in other parts of the world. But right there where we are, we can improvise. Right there where we are, we can keep in touch with our roots. We can keep glued, connected to our roots. So please, let's find ways to go back to basics. Please. Thank
That
you.
is so important. Thank you so much for making that point. And basics also in terms of our
Thank you,
languages,
Sister Karine.
in terms of our dialects, in terms of everything. When we do this, you will see the world will come together as one in happiness and in prosperity, in health and in wealth. It is so important. All round language, food, dance, everything, arts and craft, very important. And this is you pretty soon you're going to be seeing kids on here. We're going to listen to them. They're going to be playing us music. They're going to be talking, because that is why this one global movement is being created, and that's why the reason why we are here. We got to build future generation, but we got to start from within us. So thank you. We are waiting on you. You got to say something. I know you love some certain dishes there. So go ahead
Um,
and pick it. And we just want to thank you guys so much for your beautiful comments. We're waiting for Wade to put something on the screen that she's going to talk
um,
about.
yeah, before
Yes.
I put everything on the screen, at this moment, I also will want to make people know that you growing up as a young girl with so much experience to share, food, without food, nothing actually works. So, food in particular is very, very essential. With one global movement, we would, because when growing up, there are times when you are really determined to pursue your education, to go and achieve what you want, but at some point, you do not have food to eat, you can't study because you do not have that food that you need to nourish you so that you can have the power to study. So, one global movement, we will be moving. Once those apples start falling, we will be moving to encourage, to empower, to ensure that the youth we are encouraging, they have food to eat so that they can be able to study for their education. So we are not going to leave them, but we are going to ensure that they have food to eat. Without food, they cannot be able to study well. So I'll quickly bring up what I need to talk about.
Oh, no. We already talked about that.
Just a moment.
We talked about that already.
Yes.
And there's so many delicious other foods to talk about. Just keep
Yes.
looking. You will see what resonates with your soul to talk about. And there are a lot of delicious dishes
Yes.
here while she's there. Ooh, that is something there.
All right. As you can see, this setting, it's a traditional setting where this is the basic, this is the origin of where we all come from. Most of us are coming from. Here's a pot. It's used. We use wool to prepare this. This is a traditional meal where when it comes to marriage celebrations, we have to cook this. When it comes to happiness, sadness, this dish must appear. It could either be plantains, it could either be cocoyams prepared with palm oil and still the famous bitter leaf. Any meat of your choice. This is the basic. It is cooked. It has a particular flavor that you cannot resist wanting to eat this. This feeds the whole family, the whole community. When you cook this, it's like a symbol. It's a great symbol of our tradition in particular places, particular areas of the Metal land in Cameroon. But I know that in many other places they do eat it as well because it has incorporated, it has spread all over the area. Sister Yvonne or Sister Karine, you want to add to this?
Yeah, I would definitely have something to. I can't pass this by. It's just impossible. And I want to give this dish the name that is given where we come from. So please, can everyone just open their ears and listen to me pronounce this, so that when you go out, you are pronouncing what we just said here today. It's actually, if you look at it, it's called porridge plantain in English. But where I come from and where we come from, the three hosts here, we come from in fact, that would be a story of another day, but we have a similar way of pronouncing this particular dish. It is called ngom chapi. Ha! That it is so amazing. This meal, that is how it is called back home where we come from. So please, when you live here today, don't forget this particular name and this particular dish, how it is called. When you call it out there, just look for someone from where we come from. You will call that and they will give you an applause. So thank you so much,
Thank you. I will have to
Embe,
say
for that
something
meal
here.
that you pulled up.
I have to say a little something. Please permit me to do that. This you don't know. You don't, and you will know because we're speaking because we're gonna be putting it into action. Karen just said we have a similar way of calling this, naming this dish. Ngoma chopper, we call it ngoma tar. Ngoma tar
Mhm.
means you bring these ingredients, delicious ingredient to produce this delicious meal together. That is a traditional way of bonding, bringing one another together because we all belong to the same whole. That is instilling in us, in our children, the spirit of unity and love among one another. It does not matter the color of your skin. It does not matter your height. It does not matter your origin, your creed, your bank account. It does not matter the skyscrapers that you've built. The essence is love and togetherness. That is,
Humanity, humanity.
and we eat this
Yes.
with the hands. We eat together. We eat together. We put it in a very huge wooden bowl, big one. We sit round like this. We eat together. You should see the kind of happiness. When I say this, I want to cry because I'm so passionate about this. You see the kind of happiness that evolves. And in this case, too, that is another way of protecting our family. Nobody can hurt another person, nobody can poison another person with food. It is unity, sharing. The entire village, right now, as I speak, an occasion is going on in the village where this is cooked. If you come here, my pots are like this. People come here and say, "Why do you have all these big pots for?" I used to rent an apartment. The manager used to just taunt me and says, "Your pots are too big. You're destroying our gas cooker." And I can't help it. But we're going to be eating this. Get ready. Get ready. Thank you. We can go
I
ahead. Move
I
on. Move
saw I
on.
saw I saw I saw Dr. Benny
Oh,
put up a comment that, are you guys trying to cook for us, please? I can figure that she's salivating, seeing all these dishes flying on the screen. And I believe that one day, real soon, we will be coming together to prepare some of these dishes.
Welcome, Dr. Benny. Welcome, welcome, sister. You are so highly welcome here because as we speak, thank God that you came just in time for exactly what we all are about. We represent in the world is to cook, cook, and cook. Mr. Ash Mufara should get this because when we cook, I don't know where else he's gonna go there. He would just want it. Everyone will want it. Just move on. Let's move on because we can just talk, 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 and talk. There are more dishes, and there is another one, Kati Kati. Did you see the Kati Kati International? We're gonna talk about Kati
I'll
Kati
share this
International,
now.
and I would just name what it is, and then Karen would throw a little light on there on where you can do that. And if anybody in the audience wants to say something, I don't know if they can say it. That's still fine too. But here we have chicken. Farm chicken, organically grown, free range chicken, not chemically grown chicken. And chicken that just feeds on grass, chicken that we will crack the palm kernels, crack them and try to I don't know how to say it. We pound them somehow into little pieces and throw them to the chickens because that is natural medicine for the chicken, just like it is natural medicine for us. And those chicken we eat freely. They're so tasty. Guess what I do? I am looking for the chicken coop right now to raise my own chicken. I drive for 1 hour into the suburbs to go buy free range chicken because it's natural. So you have the chicken there, and you have I don't know all the spices that are involved, but all the ingredients involved, somebody will know. And you can see there, the vegetable is always there. You can eat it with corn fufu, you can eat it with plantain, you can eat it with whatever. Karen, you know this better than I do, sister. Go ahead.
Yeah, this particular dish, especially the kati kati, is the name given to the chicken, the way it's prepared. That is where that name comes from. So there is kati kati, and then it goes with the fufu corn or the corn meal that is being cooked in a porridge form, just like there's this meal that they prepare in the West is similar to that. And then we have the side, which can be the huckleberry, as I mentioned earlier, that always comes in as a side. But where there is no huckleberry, I've discovered that there is an improvisation done that people use spinach. You use spinach, you can use baby spinach as one of the sides of this particular meal. So that kati kati, the chicken that comes from that chicken, it is prepared traditionally. It doesn't need a lot of stuff in it. So what we do is we take chicken, free range chicken, we roast it, and we cut them into pieces and put them in a pot. And those pots are special pots. They give it a particular flavor. Those pots, the backs of those pots are usually blackened. They give a particular flavor to this dish. So when we put it in that pot, we just put some salt. We can put a little bit of cube, and that is all we need. Then we put some palm oil in it. We cook the chicken together with the palm oil right from inception. While the chicken is cooking, the palm oil is marinating the chicken and all of that. And we cook it until the chicken is ready, and the palm oil also, the rawness of the palm oil diminishes, and then we have our kati kati. It is so delicious. It is eaten with the fufu by the side, and it is eaten with a side vegetable, either huckleberry or any vegetable of your choice. That is it.
Kati Kati International. I want to just highlight one of the comments. Kati Kati International is really international. Nobody can resist this. Not at all. I've not seen it yet. And Dr. Benny just said something that touches my heart. She says, we've got to cook this and take it to Turkey, Lul. Turkey. We just know what happened in Turkey. We know it. Some of our brothers and sisters and children there are no more because of the earthquake. And I was looking for ways that we can help. And I was looking and asking some leaders, how can we help? Because if we cannot be present we can be present there in spirit and financially or otherwise. So thank you so much, Dr. Benny. And Brian, your comments are just, I'm jealous of your comment. He just says that thank God that I just ate some vegetable and kati before coming here. So thank you so much.
Please,
And
Briddy, can Briddy pull up Achu, please? Can we have Achu on
yes,
the screen? Can we have Achu on the screen,
yes,
please?
Yes.
yes,
Yes,
wonderful.
we
Thank you
can
so
have
much
Achu on the
for that.
screen, but Victorine Binla, there is a comment we need to take care of.
Okay,
Okay.
go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, I see the comment.
It's right on the screen.
Yeah. Sister Victorine, she's from Cameroon, particularly from an area in Cameroon called Banso. And So is the short form of Banso. And she says that she's been a cook for 28 years. She's a kitchen mama, and she will be happy to share her experiences in this platform, since we're talking about cooking, and she loves to cook. So I think on that, with the permission from the different main host and our other co-host, maybe when we're talking about food again, then we can invite Sister Victorine Binla to come on and share her own experiences with some of the dishes that we have today, or some of the dishes that are yet to be brought on the list of
Thank
food.
you so much. Thank you so much for that. If there's any, you can put my email in the chat there so that people can grab it. They can contact Sister Victorine. Thank you so much for that wonderful job. You took care of villages and cities without even knowing, just like my mother did for 30 years, taking care of our community. And right now, I employed somebody in the village who can cook and feed the children that are going to school. Why? Because they need that. They need that. And one of the reasons why I said, if I build a school, there has to be a big library attached to it with a supper table, so that children, when they come back from school, they have a space to go and do their research, do their homework with some teachers to help them, but they also have supper to eat and go home and sleep in peace without bothering their parents. That goes a long way to really give that relief that the parents need, and to also let the children know that there is a place for you. Food, food, food. I can imagine when I was going to school in university, a lot of people were suffering from food, but I was so blessed that I always had a bag of rice, because I can cook it differently, and I had to help my neighbors. So that is why we all are here. We are one. Thank you so much, Sister Victorine. And that Achu, didn't we pull it? Or you're still looking for it, Ngwe? Let's pull that Achu on the screen. That is so special. The yellow soup with the pounded yams. Oh my God, Sister Karen, maybe you get ready to take
Yes.
a hold on that, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello,
Um,
audience, and Sister Victorine Binla. Um, an email has been put already in the chat section, Building Hopes and Dreams. Kindly get in touch with us, and you'll be able to communicate as to when our next meeting with regards to food, so we can invite you to come through. And Auntie
yes.
Lynn, do you want to let Auntie Esther in, please?
Yeah, pull up the next meal so that our audience, they just looking up to that. The next one is that achu dish. Did you find it? And that one to
Yes.
okay, Karen, get ready to. You can start talking on that, Karen, before they pull it up.
Before the picture of Achu comes up, I think this is one of the hit meal, if I can say the hit meal. It is one of the hit meals of where we come from. And that meal has been cooked and has been enjoyed across Cameroon. From the French-speaking part of Cameroon to the English-speaking part of Cameroon, everyone enjoys this particular delicacy. It is called achu, and its ingredients. It is made up of pounded cocoyams. There's a particular kind of cocoyam that we use, but you can use any kind of cocoyam. Preferably, or the particular cocoyam that is used for this is because it is easy to pound it to be smooth. Now, you have to pound it to be smooth, void of any lumps of cocoyams inside. Now, when you pound it, and then it has a special mortar in which it is pounded. A mortar is something that is carved out of wood, a very hard wood that when you pound, it cannot break. So traditionally, we use this mortar to pound this cocoyam until it is smooth in texture. Now, coming over to the West, there are a lot of people who have not been able to lay their hands on this particular mortar. Now we have improvised. We've been using the blender to blend this cocoyam until it becomes soft and smooth. Either way it goes. Then when this is done, we get to the soup. The soup is the yellow sauce you're seeing inside. That soup has a couple of ingredients that some of them, I don't know the names in English. We get these spices from the bush. Imagining getting things from nature itself to prepare your meal. It cannot, there's nothing that can compare that. Nothing that can beat that. We get these spices from trees, tree leaves, tree seeds, the bark of trees, and we roast them to provoke the flavor from them. And then we grind them to a dust, and we use it to prepare this soup together with palm oil. If you have noticed, we've been talking about palm oil ever so often because it is one of the staple oils that we use back in West Africa to prepare our meals, to preserve it. If you use palm oil to prepare a dish and you use another kind of oil to prepare that same dish, that food, that dish that you prepared with palm oil will taste better and it will stay longer because palm oil, for some reason, is a preservative on its own. So we use it I don't know if our parents know about that, but we have come to know that palm oil is a preservative. When you use it to prepare your meal, that meal can stay longer without getting sour or without getting bad. Then that is the soup we make, we blend, we mix it together. And there's a lot of things we use to prepare this soup, different varieties of ingredients. Then we have a side, it could be a vegetable, it could be the huckleberry that I mentioned earlier, it could be what we call the eggplant. We can use the eggplant as a side as well. Then we've got to have chili in it. We've got to have whole chili in it. You can find there's two yellow things inside for people who love chili. And we have a side, maybe a chicken or fish. We usually have mixture of the intestine of animals, maybe the intestine and different parts of, we mix together with the skin of the cow and chicken and everything, and we eat it. It is called Atud. It is so delicious and very, very, very healthy. So thank you, Sister Yvonne.
Thank you so much for highlighting that. This is so important. I was just thinking as you were speaking, when we are eating this, and of course, with every other meal as a family, because we always eat together, the number one thing is to pray. Grace before meals and grace after meals. When we are eating, I don't know how to explain it, but my grandmother explained it in a way. If I had to talk in the dialect, that would be better, but I don't know which English words to use. Food is divine. It is a divine connection to the one who created that food. Some of these food, when you are eating them, you're just going to feel like you've been elevated into some kind of space that you don't even know how you can explain it. But something is within you. When I graduated 2019 from high school, my son he's created lots and lots of friends. My family is very diverse and very mixed. So people they came all over. And we had food, all kinds of food. One of the our family friends that came, they said they wanted Achu particularly. This man is a godfather to my son. We call him Papa Joe, and he's gonna watch this. He's gonna hear his name, Papa Joe. And the wife is so beautiful. The children, they are tall and so gigantic. You see those ancient people that are so tall and so strong, like my son. When they see me, they will just carry me like this because I cook. Puff, puff, I cook and take it to their schools. I cook jollof rice and take it to their schools. So this man was coming because this achu soup helps with the stomach. It helps to digest a lot of things in the stomach. It helps your stomach to wash it, to detox a lot of things. So this man had a problem with his stomach. So he ate that achu. He was just eating it as a trial. But then he called and said, what this thing has done to me, I'm going to be eating it. Now he will call and say, can you tell Mama Lucy, my mom, Mama Lucy, to prepare this for me? And he started behaving like the typical African man. He would take a container, put in his bag. He has a traditional bag that we gave him. He will put in his bag and then come with it. We will say, I need a yellow soup. We'll put the yellow soup in there. He's always doing that. And now he becomes a typical fan of this achu. He will eat with the hands. He just knows how to eat even better than me, even. I just feel like I started losing some of that culture. I've got to get back to it. So this is so important because we're not just talking, like we said from the beginning. We're going to be putting these things into action so that each and everyone, the world is a global village. There has to be a way that we all have to enjoy these foods. Thank you so much. Let's move on. What is the time? Okay, Karen, we're just going to be highlighting a lot. Maybe the fish roll, because the fish roll and the cake, because those are some of the things that go so well sometimes on the go, things on the go, like the fish roll way. That one will be on the go. There are other, after that, we go to another snack type. Did we talk about arrow? We talked about
Not
arrow already.
yet.
Right, okay.
Not yet.
Not yet? Ooh.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, let's do the fish roll, and then you take Karine. I think you're a specialist in that, and we go to the arrow, so we don't leave out that one. That one is so important.
Okay.
Let's. So the fish roll, you can start talking about it, Karine, before they bring it.
Yes.
Okay, so we have this on the go finger food. It can be a street food. It is called fish roll. And before I talk about it, it is very important for us to teach our youth or our children or our girl children how to be industrious. So this particular finger food, it is something that I used in South Africa to make money. I made good money with this particular site, with this particular street food. So we have to teach our children how to be industrious. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or you're poor. Teach your child how to be industrious, how to fend for themselves, how to use their hands and their knowledge and their discoveries to be able to earn $1 or a rand or a CFA or whatever currency it is that you use to be able to feel good about themselves. When you make money of your own, you feel good. But if somebody gives you money, you can use that money however you please. But when you make money by yourself, you feel good about it. So I used this a couple of years ago and I made money in South Africa. It is called fish rolls. Now, when you eat my fish rolls, I bet you're going to look for me to want more of it. I am a master at fish rolls. People look for me. Like when I was here in South Africa, South Africans hardly eat anyhow. But when I started selling this, South Africans got into it and they were enjoying it. So how do you prepare this particular fish roll? We need flour. That is one of the main ingredients of this particular finger food. We need fish. You can do meat. If you're doing meat, it will be called meat pie. But then fish is healthier than meat, so fish roll does the deal. So fish is one of the ingredients of this particular finger food. Now you can add carrot. I do add carrots, grated carrots. You can grate carrots or you can slice carrot into little pieces. You can add green beans or string beans. You can add ginger and garlic. We know how ginger and garlic is very good for our health. You grate the ginger or you blend it into a sauce. Now there is fish. We have ginger, garlic, we have green beans, we have carrots grated or sliced or chopped into little pieces. And then we have a little bit of salt to put in it into that. Then we cook the fish. When we cook the fish, we debone the fish. When we debone the fish, we add the carrot to the fish. We cook the carrot a little bit to be cooked, just a little bit. We add the green pepper. You can add the green beans. You add the ginger and the garlic and a little bit of salt, and you just cook it together for a few minutes. When you do that, you keep it aside. Now you've got the flour, you have the butter, you have a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar and some oil. You mix that together into a dough. The dough will not be very soft and it will not be very hard. Now you mix that together and you keep it to chill maybe for about 30 seconds. No, 30 minutes, sorry. After that, you roll it out and then you put the filling. The filling is the fish and the other ingredients that were cooked together. When you put that you put it in and you roll it with your hand into this particular shape that it brings. After that, before you're doing that, you have your oil heated in a deep fryer, and then you dip one in. It has a particular temperature. They say baking is a science. So this is a semi-baking finger food. You can bake it or you can fry it. But when you fry it, when I fry it, you don't even know that it is fried because you don't have no grease on it. You dip it into the oil and you fry it for a few seconds or a few minutes until it is golden brown on the outside and cooked on the inside. Wow. Then you sit down and you have that delicious.
Wow, this is so beautiful. Thank you so much for really, this is so beautiful. And we're going to be highlighting some of the meals shortly because we're going to put them put them together so people can begin to see the process, the ingredients, everything involved so they can begin to put it in practice with their children, with their families, with their community to spread the word out. That is so, so wonderful that you took that time to explain that. And this is sometimes on the go. Most of the time on the go snacks is good for everybody. Very good. And sometimes with technology and the advancement in a lot of things, you can actually sometimes air fry this, or sometimes you can bake it to make it more healthy. This is so important. And thank you so much, Sister Karine. We're going to the arrow. We're going to be giving like 2 minutes to everything because the time is almost there. I know that everybody loves what we're doing, but it's a lot to talk about. We're just going to be highlighting. Let's talk about the arrow. Arrow is number one. One of the, not number one, but one of the very first ones. I thought we had talked about it. So can you highlight the arrow on the screen, please? Ngwe, thank you so much. And I'm just going to name the ingredients here, and Karine can just throw a short light on that. And we move on. So arrow, it is like we talked before. We harvest most of our vegetables or the thing that we use in cooking and spices from the forest. We have been gifted with the forest. This arrow grows in the forest. You don't need to plant it. It is there and it grows in a special area. It doesn't grow everywhere. So you have the arrow, you have your palm oil, you have your crayfish, and another thing. So Karine, go ahead and talk about this because I know that you are better with this cooking thing than me. So maybe Wait who knows more about it. So go ahead and talk about it.
Oh, I bet you she does. She does. Yeah, arrow is one of those ones that are like achu for us. It is prepared almost everywhere in Cameroon, but in different ways. we have different ways of cooking it, but where we come from, we prepare it with the ingredients that Sister Yvonne has just listed. Now we have this particular vegetable also that we plant. It's called water leaf. I don't know the name in English or the biological name of it, but it is called water leaf. It is soft, and when you cook it, it is a bit slimy, just a little bit of slime, like okra has got, or okra, however we call it. Now you slice that water leaf, and then you put in the pot together with the arrow. The arrow is also sliced very finely, and you put it together with the water leaf, and you put your smoked fish. You can put smoked fish, you can put meat if you want, and you can also then you put that together, and you cook it for a while for the arrow to be soft. When you do that, you put your crayfish later on, and then you put in your palm oil. We're going
Yes.
back to palm oil. We put in the palm oil, and we cook it until the palm oil loses its rawness, and then we serve this arrow together with fufu. Different
Wonderful.
kinds of fufu. We have gari, which is another fufu that is made out of cassava. And then we can also serve with this another fufu called water fufu, which is another fufu, a product from cassava as well. It is very, very delicious. Hopefully, one day, God willing, we will be tasting of these different dishes. I believe that.
We will. I will be inviting everyone to
Yes, just to
Minnesota
add to
when the
that,
things start. Go ahead.
yes, just to add to that, it's arrow also is digestion when you eat it. It also, because it has lots of nutritional values that is digestion in the body. So we go next. Okay, we had this already. We just have this, the tripe sauce. This is from the stomach of a cow. It could be a beef, it could be ox, it could be a goat. So the tripe is just tripe, stewed, very healthy to eat, and there are no effects when eating. You can eat as much as you want to with any food of your choice. Here we have our famous egusi soup.
Yes.
This also we can be able to eat it. It's very famous. It's very delicious. So most of our meals, you realize that we have palm oil, and we also garnish it with lots of green leafy vegetables. So it's also very healthy to eat it. This is also traditionally made. Um, Most famous Nigerian restaurants will never lack this. If you go to any Nigerian restaurant all over the world, wherever it is, you will find this. There is no way you miss this. They will always have it readily available. Also in Cameroon as well.
Yeah, I think, can I add
Um,
something to that particular? I think there is a particular ingredient that is in that egusi vegetable soup that we have to highlight, which is the egusi itself. And what is egusi? Egusi is the pumpkin seeds, the seeds that are found in pumpkin. So we harvest pumpkin, we open it, and then we take out the seeds, we dry it, and then we peel the skin off, and we use the inner seed of it to grind and to prepare this particular meal. And we know how pumpkin seeds are healthy, they are very good for us, and they are very nutritive. So we use that to prepare this vegetable soup.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we're gonna go. If you have the cake there, because there's a lot of dishes in way, you want to bring the cake so that we maybe we round up with the cake because kids love the cake. And this might not be the original African cake, but we have a way of preparing the original African cake so that it doesn't have too much of the sugars and preservatives that are put in some of the cakes so that it can be healthy for their life. So when we talk about that, it's already 11:31 because I know that some people might be going off. We will continue with this. I bet you we're not being disrespectful here. We want to maintain time because a lot of people have other things that they're going to attend, and we will continue. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Go ahead. If you find the cake, The cake is the ingredients there is the flour, you have the sugar, you have the baking powder, you have maybe a pinch of salt, or can you highlight that cake for us, either Karine Ongwe, please?
Just a moment. Just a moment.
Yeah, Karine,
I
go
think
ahead.
yeah. Why Way is getting an image of the cake? I think that one important thing that we must take away from this particular dish, the cake, is that as much as cakes are universal in their ingredients and in the way that they are made, I want to say that it is very important that when we are making cake, we choose the ingredients very carefully, leaning towards the nutritive value of such ingredients. So when I was growing up, I have my aunt who used to make cake, and she used to make banana cake. So she found a way to incorporate something that is not only delicious but nutritive in a cake. So she used banana cake. Instead of flour, she used corn flour. Sometimes she will use wheat flour to make that cake, and less sugar as well. So she will replace butter with oil, peanut oil. She will use replace butter with peanut oil. So as much as the cakes that we make are similar in terms of the appearance, let us be conscious that if we want to keep it healthy, we want to keep it nutritive, we have to weigh and be mindful of the ingredients that we use and in what quantity we use them to balance, to keep that balance, that fine line between making it healthy and it crossing over to the unhealthy side. So let's again, I think that is what I want to say about the cake, because it is similar in looks in to all the cakes that are made around the world, but the ingredients and the degree to which we put those ingredients is what makes it healthy. So thank you, Sister Yvonne.
Yeah, thank you so much. That is a wonderful cake right there. You see that? Mm. Look at the fruit on top there. Who would not love that? That is so healthy. Yes, thank you so much. And if anybody has anything to say, that would be good. Otherwise, I think we should be rounding up, and so that we can join heroes and other things that we are committed to, so that we keep this light of unpassive, all connect everything moving ahead. And Monday, we're going to have another international web conference. Our CEO said that please pull everyone to be there. We all need to break or connect. We need to get into the Guinness Book of Record. We need to be there. We are 1.4 million founders. Whatever we are doing, if we're going to take this as our lives, as what is going to help us to uplift humanity. Remember, our CEO says we want to lift up humanity, but you cannot uplift humanity without a heart. Let us bring everyone there, every member, so we attend that. So thank you so much. Does anybody has anything to say, or I can give a
Yeah,
closing remark?
just to say thank you to everyone who tuned in, who logged in today to watch this particular episode of One Global Movement. And some particular names kept featuring on the comment section. I may not call all, but I would just want to acknowledge Sadiq. If I pronounce your name correctly, please. If it's not correct, forgive me for that. Sadiq is one of the commenters or commented people commenting on the comment section that I picked and noticed. There's also Brian, and also we have our Divina also with comments coming in, and so many others who I cannot even remember their names. And I want to say, keep a deal with us again next week Sunday, as we will be coming up with another topic that will help to educate us and educate our young people. So over to you, Sister Yvonne.
Thank you guys so much. I am so grateful to everyone. I hold you dear to my heart, our hearts, and everybody that makes this uh, a reality, that makes this to happen to the world. I want to thank you, Karine, Briddy, Auntie Lynn, I know that I've been behind you, and I don't seem to even quit when even when you're tired. I'm still calling. And Divina, oh, you are the masterpiece of all
Oh,
the brilliance
yes.
that we see as the background. And I want to thank all my brothers and sisters that have attended today. Remember, this is to uplift the world, particularly our children, so our children can live happily, healthy lives and progressive lives, so that they can also live a life of leadership and purpose. So that when we exit the stage of life, we know that we have done our part. We have to rub the cemetery. We should not take the knowledge that God has blessed us with into the cemetery without giving it out there to others and to our children. And also remember, a hungry man is an angry man. If a child is hungry, they're angry, they cannot focus on anything, they can't even listen to you well, they will not be able to read, they will not be able to pass an exam, or they will not be able to master that art that they're trying to master. And what do we do? Sometimes we blame them without knowing that this child did not eat. But even if they ate, did they eat the right nutritious food that they need for their bodies to grow, for their bodies to be able to think well, for their brains to really, really master those skills that we want them to master? So, if you are living here today, I encourage you to stay focused, stay empowered, stay encouraged, and always believe in endless possibilities. We love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Pan- panelists, stay in the panel. Don't leave the studio, okay? We're going to end the broadcast now.
Okay.
See you next Sunday for another session. Thank you all.
Thank you.